As we look ahead to 2018, all eyes are on the midterm elections and the battle for control of Congress. And with most polls showing President Trump's approval rating hovering in the high 30s, Democrats are feeling optimistic about their chances in both the House and Senate. So what should we expect heading into the midterm campaign? Earlier, I spoke to Larry Sabato. He's director of the Center for Politics at the University of Virginia. Welcome, Larry Sabato. Good to have you with us. Now, we are entering 2018, and the Democrats I talked to are already saying we're going to pick up the House and probably the Senate next November. Is their optimism warranted?
They're on a sugar high after Doug Jones' win in Alabama and also Ralph Northam's big win in Virginia. Yeah. But, you know, a lot can happen in 10 months. We all know that. So I'm going to wait and see. I think Democrats certainly will pick up seats. It's a midterm election.
Right. And that normally means the opposition party picks up seats. But when you're looking at the head-to-head polling right now, okay, not 10 months from right now, Democrats have something like an 8 to 10 point advantage in the polling number of who should run Congress. That's a big advantage. They also have about a 10-point advantage in enthusiasm with their voters versus Republicans. That usually means big pickups.
Yes, if that holds, they will win the House, and they might be able to stave off any defeats in the Senate, which is incredible when you think about it, because they're defending 26 seats, 10 of them in states that President Trump won in 2016. The Republicans have only 8 seats up on the ballot, and only 2 of them are vulnerable. So I would say if Democrats held their own poll, they'd be doing extraordinarily well. If it's a giant wave, right, yeah, they'll win the Senate too, but I'm talking about a giant wave.
Okay, now
we're not there yet.
All right, so what might change? Well, one thing that just changed, we now have this tax bill. And if the Republicans are clearly enthused about that, they think this is going to help them as their paychecks show up. How do you see that affecting psychology in the election?
We're in such a partisan age, Paul, that I can see the Republican voters who would have voted Republican anyway saying, yep, that tax bill is terrific and I'm doing better. I can feel it already. And the Democrats will all say, where's my money? It all went to corporations. It all went to the rich. Now, the one difference it could make, if Republicans are right in their analysis of the tax bill, then Republican voters may be able to close at least some of this enthusiasm gap, which does exist. The Democrats have an enthusiasm edge for 2018, just like Republicans ended up having the enthusiasm edge for 2016.
Now, the other thing that Republicans are touting is the growth of the economy. This fourth quarter of 2017 looks like we're going to come in at about 3% growth. Again, that would make 3 quarters in a row. If the tax bill helps and the economy continues to expand at that kind of a pace, which we haven't seen for any extended period for a lot of years, how will that play in the election?
It's bound to help some Republicans. Here's the problem that Republicans have. Already, close to 60% of Americans say the economy is either good or excellent. In some polls, it's the highest percentage in many, many years having that positive a view. But at the very same time, President Trump is at 35, 37, 41%, depending on the survey. So he's not benefiting from the better economy. Could that change? Yeah, it could change. But it suggests that there's a big gap between the evaluation of President Trump and the evaluation of the economy. And it's the president's approval rating, I think, more than anything else, that determines many of the results in a midterm election.
So the opposing party just comes out to paste a defeat on the president they don't like, and the only people on the ballot that they can vote against are the Republicans on the ballot. So how did the president's approval rating, I don't know, I've seen it 35 to 40, depending on the poll. What does he need to get back to be able to have at least a break even or give Republicans a fighting chance to do better?
He needs to be about where he was on Election Day, 46%.
46, yeah.
45, 46%. And look, Paul, we all learned about polls in 2016. You know, if we knew the lesson before, we relearned it. Let's remember, probably there's a non-response rate problem for his supporters, for Republicans there. Don't like the media, don't like polls. And so add 2 or 3 points to whatever his approval rating is. That's what I've learned to do. So he's not as far down as some of the polls have him, but he's not as high as he needs to be if Republicans are to hold their own in the midterm elections.
Well, for years, Democrats have been complaining about the so-called gerrymanders in the states that make it easier for Republicans to hold the House. You're saying that even that suddenly is not going to be as powerful for Republicans this time, and maybe overcome, or have Democrat complaints maybe been overwrought on that?
No, gerrymandering does have an impact. There's no question. But what happens is interesting. If the wave goes high enough, it simply washes over the advantage that gerrymandering gives in specific districts. But is the wave going to be high enough? In Virginia this past November, it was high enough.
It was high enough.
The candidate for governor won by 9 points, and it was enough to pull in 50 out of 100 members of the House of Delegates for their party. But, Paul, the Democrats got 55% of the popular vote for the legislature, and they got 50% of the seats. You see, there's still a gap, and it's generated by gerrymandering.
All right, we're going to watch closely. Thanks for being here, Larry Sabato.
Thank you, Paul.